动的，这个稍微扫两下。
Checkmate, checkmate.
Checking Mac. Checking Mac. Checking Mac. Checking Mac. Okay, I'm gonna make it louder. How's everyone? We're setting up right on time. How's everyone? We're setting up right on time. All things goes good. Okay. Okay, just finished adjusting everything. The Mac looks good, and we're very happy to have Susan tonight with us. This is our first AMA after the rebranding that we announced at the Consensus last week. We just came back from Consensus earlier this week and sort out everything. So I think it's a time for us to give everyone, our community members, an update about our rebranding from QLink to QLC Chain. So I'm gonna ask Susan to introduce herself again. I think everyone knows about Susan. It's all yours, Susan.
Hi everybody. It's been a while since our last AMA, so we think it's quite necessary to show you we're still here and working hard. And now it's actually like 11 p.m. in Hong Kong, but according to the statistic, which is the most active time of our community. So here, and welcome to any questions.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna give you the floor of introducing QLC Chain first. Why are we conducting this rebranding from QLink to QLC Chain, and what's the strategic thinking behind this? Do you want to give a brief reason to everyone, and then we can jump into the detailed introduction of QLC Chain?
Okay. I think for the rebranding, and I have explained in my blog, so it's quite significant for us. The reason why is we have been known as a dApp, which is for the Wi-Fi sharing, for the VPN marketplace. But now we actually stamp out to launch the service for the for network of launch the public chain for network services. Why this is significant? Because we think there's a lot of potential to improve on the scalability of the blockchain structure. And there's a lot of potential for us to actually put our effort out and seize the market opportunities to, kind of like develop this platform. For now, we have for the decentralized economy, when you have decentralized computing and decentralized content sharing. So you need decentralized network services to make sure the infrastructure is fully decentralized, and your dApp can access to SDK of the network services that make sure they are truly decentralized. So this is our thought of why should we do the rebranding. So we actually launched our website as one you can see. The former domain has changed into the QLCchain.org, which is new domain. And secondly, we have obviously we registered the QLC chain globally as a trademark. So, and this trademark will only belong to us. And anywhere you will see the QLC chain, that's kind of like a part of the QLink, original QLink. And the reason that we want to emphasize the public chain is essentially we had quite a big internal restructure. We have the product. We have a product team, and now we have public chain team. So two teams are both developers. but they focus on two different domains. The public chain team are more focused on infrastructure, blockchain structure, smart contract, and the consensus. And the product team will focus only one thing: how to implement blockchain technology into our life. And what kind of product is trendy? How can we develop users? How can we get more active users using blockchain technology, not just for payments, but for something else? So this is kind of like two paths we're experimenting at this moment, and to emphasize our brand, to emphasize kind of like the business strategy, we think it's quite necessary to rebrand, have a new image, to be recognized as a contributor of the public chain. So I think that's the logic behind the rebranding. And we announced it during Consensus, and it was phenomenal since then. We're still on the process to change all the names everywhere, and welcome and encourage any community members to identify and initiate the changes on previous publications, no matter it's the changes, no matter it's coin market cap or stuff like that. And I encourage you to reach out to them, help us to change names. So let us know if you need any help. And we already made quite open platforms, so all the logos and necessary information you need to know about QLC Chain, including my presentation, are available to download at our website. So yeah, so we're here, and welcome to any comments or your thoughts about this rebranding, and do let us know. Thank you.
Actually, I'm just checking the live stream. So if you're gonna have any questions you wanna ask, you can just also put it below here. So we're gonna catch it and answer the questions. Here at the top is our website. This is our new website that you can explore. This is the homepage. The homepage we featured the QLC chain. QLC chain is the first public blockchain for decentralized mobile network as a service. Network as a service, I think Susan will give a couple more minutes explaining what is network as a service later on.
Yeah, I love this session. We totally can do this live interview.
Yeah.
Bring me any questions that
Yes.
you raise from the community.
Yes, sure. So network as a service is not actually what people would use the term on a daily basis. I think it's quite technical. What is exactly network as a service, and how does it kind of like related to people's life?
Okay. So network services is actually not that complicated. So we actually cover by network services every single day. I mean, as long as I work out from network, I can get connected with the internet, which is something I'm afraid of. So network services is just anything that you touch upon on the internet. So things like that's the Wi-Fi connections, and you access the Wi-Fi, and you access the mobile data, or you receive the transmission from the data, or you get your phone bills. So anything around that we call network services. Having said that, which including the decentralized firewall as well, which is quite important.
Yeah.
And all the companies that have security nodes or security servers that defends the internet and outside of the internet. So there's some servers dedicated for this position. So, but in our architecture, the nodes that are assigned to guard the network will be decentralized. So any nodes can take this responsibility to be a guard.
Yeah. So from my understanding, that what we here talk about is people are not familiar with network could be as a service, because traditionally our telcos integrated all these functions together and offer as a package.
Exactly.
Including like we're using Wi-Fi, we're using data, we're checking the content, the firewalls, and the billing system they're using.
Exactly.
Actually, it's centralized in the centralized nodes.
Exactly.
And then now what we're actually doing is to offer it to our users.
Yes, we offer anyone. I mean, it's essentially because before you want to operate network, you have to invest a lot of money. You have to buy a lot of machine. But what we're trying to do right now is we lower the bar, so everyone has an actual networking capacity to be a part of this network. And so, I mean, for the simple case, I can share my Wi-Fi to my neighbors, to my co-working friends, or in the big case, and I just kind of like install this kind of software on my computer, and then I'll provide a certain part of the transmission. I'll be the decentralized node. I'll be decentralized the billing system for the in this ecosystem. So the way that we design that is it's a free package. It's end to end. So network services and the consensus that's suitable for network services. Yeah.
Yeah. So now we're focusing from, like, we're pivoting our focus from the dApp that we have already built and available from Google Play towards the public chain, which we call it QLC chain. So what's special about this QLC chain? Why can't we just stay on NEO, build our public applications, or we chose NEO or any other public chains that we are actually is available?
That's a great question. So I could talk a day about this. So in short language and in very plain language, and if you think about the blockchain industry, it's actually evolved very fast since Satoshi published the white paper about Bitcoin, and then we have Ethereum, and then we have kind of like NEO, and we have
EOS coming up.
Yeah, EOS. Yeah, or we actually have IOTA and EOS, and all the body coming out. And then we have Block Lattice. So when you think about the evolving of the blockchain structure, it's actually quite fascinating, because originally we want to solve the problem of the trust, and by sacrificing the scalability and the performance, and now, we believe the trust is something that we can't lose. At the same time, how can we increase the scalability and have more application in the real life can adapt into the blockchain system. So, and people from a different angle worked on this. So for our perspective, we're not focused on payment, obviously, but for the network services, then we're constantly looking for something, a high performance, a high scalability, and could be adopted millions of users. So at this point, and we think looking around on all the infrastructure, and we have to develop it by ourselves, which is luckily we have the time, we have the market to do so, and we have the right people as well. So why don't we just do it? And yeah, I think this is kind of like what we stand right now. So for example, if you have used the WinQ, I mean, to be honest, if you move to the mainnet, any registration of your assets, you have to pay for gas. So we don't think asset registration we need to be paid. And at this time, massive adoption required, and we need to get more people to enjoy the free assets registration process. So by thinking about that, mass adoption and scalability, so we decided to build our own QLC chain.
Yeah. So exactly. I heard that the yellow paper is coming out. So can you give us some of the information about the yellow paper, about the structure, and what's there? What's very interesting that we can have a taste of?
Yes. So yellow paper is actually the fundamental of the public chain. We have the bunch of the talent engineers have worked quite hard to, design the infrastructure architecture of how what kind of blockchain structure we should use, and how can we have smart contract on the top. and how can we incorporate it with a consensus as well. So we have prepared quite very detailed yellow paper, which we will publish very soon. And it's been done already, so we can publish anytime. So the reason that we want to publish later is, I mean, obviously we need to prepare some partnerships, and people are ready to working with us on the public chain. So we will choose the right time to publish it. Be patient, and if you, I think anyone who saw our yellow paper will be like, wow, this is amazing, and this is kind of like the team has done a lot. I mean, in the past 3 months, we actually focus a lot on the product development. I mean, I take the fault for having to communicate with the community well, but from now on, we'll be on the frontiers and talk about our technology, talk about the white paper, and have all the kind of incentive schemes comes out. And any of you can give us any suggestions, we're welcome. Yeah.
Just 1 second, I just got some feedbacks. Can someone just type whether our volume is too low or not? Because I received some feedback.
So, yeah, we need to buy a mic probably. Okay, I think our volume is too low. Can you use a mic?
Yeah.
Want to share a mic?
I'm gonna check quickly about our volume. It is a bit low. Okay. Well, there is a really long question here. I think we should cover it first. Could you go further in detail how the Shannon Consensus mechanism will work? Will there be staking or master nodes? Not sure how the middle class contains more control over the network. Okay, before Susan goes into details and highlight about our Shannon Consensus, which we are really, really proud of, just a simple explanation about Shannon Consensus. So if we see all the consensus that are evolving from the POW dominant and then evolve into POS and DPoS and all this. So what we actually have one potential risk, which is to have the centralized or the 51% attack, which unfortunately happened recently. So what Shannon Consensus can actually do is to allocate we introduced the one concept from the information technology, which is called entropy, and by introducing this, we can actually guarantee that whether it's a asset mining machine or it is GPU mining machine, actually they can get equal chance of getting the right to write the ledger. So that's how we can actually we call it inherently anti-centralized mechanism. So this is still I think is it still under validation period of time, or how is it being developed?
Okay, just to add what Toya mentioned about the Shannon Consensus. So if you think about POW, POS, that's the people who have a computing power and the people who have token actually dominates the power of ledger. So what we want to do is separate the power of ledger and the power of the work. So work will be provided. I mean, this is the consensus. Having said that, this is the consensus that's designed for the network transmission. So in the world of transmission, 20% of nodes actually taking on 80% of transmission work. So if we want to have the power that big companies like Google, AT&T want to dominate the network, so we have to have someone to validate the job. It's just like the auditor to audit the work, how much work they actually do. So those people are, they may not be the super nodes or the nodes that have contribute most of the work. They may have less work, but they can audit the work have been done by super nodes. So this will be truly decentralized. So in terms of the progress, we're actually working with one of the university in US to simulate the consensus. So it's actually a quite complicated work. I couldn't comment too much at this moment, but the work is ongoing at this moment. So once we have some results for the simulation, and we will share with the community. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah. So let's go through the questions that we collected from the Reddit. It's quite a lot here. Yeah, people are very wondering what has happened during Consensus 2018, and if we get some new potential partnerships in the pipeline. And yeah, so give us some like updates about what we did at Consensus.
So Consensus is a very busy conference. It's just like what? I can't even describe what it's like. It's like you have 10,000 people put into a hotel, and they have constantly network. So it's like speed dating for me, actually. So we meet people and you talk, and 3 minutes you change, and this is what we did there. And there is a lot of idea sharing, and there is a lot of how to say you see the boundary and how industry was pushing at this moment. So talking about partners, we do see some potentials there in terms of like exchanges. So one of the things NEP5 is I think it's gradually adopting by exchanges, but it still take time. And another thing is I shared through my Twitter. We were quite excited to see Nokia there. They were invited by Steamer. So Steamer wants Nokia to contributing the data from the operating networks. So we actually see a diagram that Nokia was seeing his own machines interacted with a blockchain network. So this is the part that we may come into the play. But to be honest, it's too early to comment. So we will continue to develop our public chain and supporting as many as kind of like registration of the networking assets and devices first. So those two are my comments, and I do saw a lot of very interesting people. So like Jack Lee from the HTC Capital, which is a frontier investor for blockchain. He has been starting to invest into the blockchain since 3 years ago. So feature investments including the Galaxy and Cambridge, which is encrypto ID company. So and all those people are actually looking to the QLC chain at the moment for the potential adoption. So yeah, that's pretty much it. To be honest, I can't really comment before anything that's concrete. The substantial was developed. So, but do look out from our announcements once we have something and we think that worth to announce and publish, and we'll definitely share with our community.
Yeah. Okay. So since we are, I think I can just speak out loud. Since we actually focusing on the public chain development, and we will invite more projects to come on board. So what kind of projects that you will be looking for as partnerships, and maybe our community members may help us to recruit more partnerships to build their applications on top of us. So what are those types that you're looking for?
Okay, right now I think we're just looking for a lot of brilliant developers who are interested to develop kind of like anything that can be incorporated with network services, like decentralized Yelp, which I made of examples a lot of places. So so for example, what the currently Yelp will do is put up reviews of the merchants. But the problem is we don't even know whether the reviewers are actually been there before. It's maybe just a fraud. So, but decentralized Yelp with the QLC Chain SDK, what they can do is they can actually have the Wi-Fi SDK embedded with the app. So people who actually give it the comments has to be there and connected with Wi-Fi of the merchant. So at least we know the person are actually in this place. So there's a lot of examples that we can incorporate our SDK into the product. So for example, we're actually working with the game developers and trying to add in some fun. So the idea, I mean, I personally have a lot of ideas how we can develop our product and what kind of product we can launch. And having said that, we do have a very strong product teams, and we are willing to work with any developers from different fields, and trying to develop the products on the QLC ecosystem. So it could be anything. I mean, I think I'll be more opposite. I'll be very positive, especially once our public chain launched. Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just take this opportunity doing an advertisement?
You know the best.
Yes, to do an advertisement about what we're actually hiring. There are 4 positions that we're proactively looking for. One is acquisition marketing director. Well, not long ago, we actually put out the announcement that WinQ will stay on the new testnet. The main reason will be that if we convert it to the mainnet, that will be creating more barriers for users to join. Because after all, cryptocurrency is small. It's still a comparatively smaller market. And the main task we are having is to accumulate users on WinQ. So for those who doesn't know what WinQ is our first dApp we developed. So it's available on Google Play. It's for Wi-Fi sharing and a VPN marketplace. So we are recruiting marketing director for user acquisition, and also this is community and user growth specialist we are actually looking for. And for the public chain side, we are looking for Go software developer and senior embedded Linux developer. So these are what we're actually looking for. So if you have any friends that you know the talents, just feel free to give us a shout. And this positions is hidden at the very downwards of our main website. You can see there is a little hiring button, so you can see what the positions that we are actually looking for. Yep, that's our hiring session, and just I took 2 minutes to do the advertisement.
So whoever, I mean, I just announcing right now. So whoever help us to place the candidates could win an iPhone X. How about that?
Oh my god! I'm gonna check my friend zone. So I want an iPhone X.
Yes, whoever successfully placed the candidate. So candidate has the positive interview and bought into the company, and successfully landed the job of the probation.
Great.
So
Awesome.
Yes, and will be given an iPhone X. Okay.
Yes. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So let's see what are the next questions that we're gonna cover from our Reddit. Oh, yes. Cool. I'm reading the comments here. In the comment, we can see. Okay, I'm gonna switch it. In the comment that we can see how is it better than NKN and Dent, and on the Reddit, I saw the same question that they are asking us to compare between Dent and Substratum. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. So I think it's not really our position to say how we are superior than them, because I think our community members and investors should do their own due diligence research.
Exactly.
But what we can do is tell you what QLC Chain do and what we actually our structure like. So do you want to give us a different perspective of pictures on QLC Chain in comparison of this?
Yeah, I think decentralized network is a big field, and we will see a lot of players come into the play. But I think most importantly, as investors, I mean, we look into different projects as well. And we know how the project evolve. And I think a few things that you always watch out. So first, I'm teaching you the investing lessons right now. So this is $1 million lesson. I'm just kidding. So first, most important is to look at the trend. There's some trend, it cannot be reversed. So for example, the blockchain infrastructure upgrade. And after the Bitcoins, of the Ethereum, what's the kind of like next scalable infrastructure? So this is something you should always look into. And the second is how big the addressable markets, and and this is actually related to the first questions. The third one is really looking to the team and how do that do differently. So for some projects, only focus on the application layers, and so for some projects, we'll focus on the more infrastructure layers. And do look into the teams. Do they have a positive experience? Have the hop off between different jobs? Have they really commit to develop something in the past? How can they really deliver what they write on the white paper? Especially for the white paper, besides the idea, do they really say technically how can they deploy it? How can they market it to the markets? This is quite important as well, because we have seen a lot of technology has been there, but zero users and zero adaptations, which is kind of sad for the developers. So for any business that they can fly, and they need talent people on the R&D departments. They need talent people like Toya as well to be on the marketing side as well. So yeah. So yes, really, I'm not in the position to comment, but I do know what's the differences between them and QLC Chain. So I'm really confident that we will stand out. Yeah.
Thank you. That I agree. Yes. So I think there's one thing that I want to highlight during your answer, which is very interesting. Mm-hmm. So you said we should look at the trends. What's the trends of public chain development? And I also see there are comments here from our CTO. He said here, it's QLC chain. It is next generation public chain. So since he's not here, he's not with us today, so can you talk on behalf of him why we are the next generation public chain and why we are the trend? So this is what the investors will also look into. So in terms of, the trend, of course, we are talking about TPS scalability and what we are adopting and in terms of this.
I think, I touched about briefly. So I think in 2009 and Bitcoins comes up, and we have this kind of like blockchain structure of the kind of like the payment system. So and then and to solve the scalability issues, and then we have Ethereum. So Ethereum really didn't change too much in terms of blockchain structure. They actually comes up a new structure of that Merkle tree. And then we have Alta and come out the DAG, but DAG has a problem. Potentially, 33% of the network of the computing power. Once someone has 33%, the whole network will be in control, which is quite not decentralized. And then we have someone who comes with the Block Lattice. So which is what Nodo's doing right now, and it's truly solved the decentralized it truly solved the scalability issues because they have developed into the multidimensional blockchain system. It's not just one chain at all. It's every account has its own chain, and smart contract may have its own chain as well. So between different accounts and they interact, they settle the transaction. So this is much more scalable than other blockchain structure. So we think this is actually something that will fly very soon. And because this still needs some time to develop the ecosystem, especially smart contract, and we have the market have a lot of interest about the Block Lattice structure, and a lot of team actually launched based on a Block Lattice structure for the own public chain. So yeah, and for our public chain we adopted Block Lattice as well, and yeah, we tested it and we think it's great. Yeah.
I was hi guys. I was smiling at the behind scene because Susan just gave us the biggest news of our Block Lattice structure. What we introduce here, QLC Chain is introducing here, is called multidimensional Block Lattice structure. So we adopted Block Lattice structure and enabled the smart contract in it. And we are very proud to say that QLC Chain is the very first team that successfully deployed smart contract on Block Lattice structure and really achieved the TPS scalability. At the same time, it will support decentralized applications to be built on top of it. So just yes, great, Susan. I was thinking, when are you going to tell all of us about that? Yes, and that was it.
Yeah.
Alan has been yes, very confident because we know. Yeah, let's see what other questions we can gather from the Reddit. Oh, this is actually what we encountered many times. On Reddit, we see this question: do you think QLC will stay as an NEP5 token, or will there be a token swap in the future? I think this is a legit question that people will ask a lot.
So it's very hard to say at this moment, but I think it all depends on the developments of our public chain, and we'll see. So, and the part of our public chain was still using the NVM. So there's a lot of chance that we're gonna still stay with NEP5 token. Yeah, I can't predict right now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, but to rest assured that the QLC chain will be the token for QLC will be the token for QLC chain. That's for sure. Mm-hmm. And whether it's gonna be a token swap or not, it still hasn't been decided yet. Internally, we have several rounds of discussions, but no definite answer yet. So let's stay put and wait for the developers to come up with the solution. Okay. I've noticed that QLink has never really been able to gain traction in the West and remains whether very undervalued in terms of market cap. Yes, I agree. Are there any plans to make channels such as the Telegram more active? There isn't enough discussion going on each day. So I think that's my fault.
It's not time to take a photo.
Yeah, it's the thing is we are actually also proactively looking for help in terms of marketing and help with the community. And previously, I think our focus has been pivoting to the WinQ user accumulation, so that took a very large proportion of our time.
Let me take this. Yeah, I think you're right because I mean the sentiment is different. People are looking to jumping ICO to ICO. So I think our strategy is more focused on that people truly care about the QLink. And we do have, we do set up different channels for the different regions. And we do have a lot of people that reach out to me to kind of want to cooperate with QLink in terms of not most important, not for the local marketing, but for the product or corporations. So I think for the Telegram, and yes, we'll live there, but I think most of people are more like the people that started with us during the ICO. So we have been a little bit low-key as product development goes, and once we think it's ready, and we will initiate more on the marketing side. So I wouldn't think this is too much of problems, and yeah, and I think the growth strategy will be something that we'll look into in the second half. Yeah. Okay.
Yep, I think we've covered most of the questions from Reddit. Let's see what there are questions on the live chat here.
Okay, let me take 1 second. I saw really good questions in terms of one of the team members. His name is Chen Jingrong, just joined us. Yeah, and so Jingrong, he's a PhD graduate from Beijing University of the Post and Telecommunication. It's a really complicated name. And he has been he knows the telecom industry inside out. Having said that, he was also an entrepreneur who founded a Wi-Fi sharing app in China. It's called Wi-Fi Alliance, which is a Wi-Fi sharing app through the centralized way. So since he joined our team, and there is a great potential that we were integrated with that app, which means that app itself have probably around
1 billion, 1 million, I think.
Well, I think more than 1 million. They probably have about maybe 50 million downloads, and those users will be actually gonna be integrated into our app. And so this is something that we're very excited. And yeah, please look out for the news, and when we kind of like ready to announce it. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, Susan. And that's so. I think we covered most of the questions, and so for the questions that I didn't read, somehow we've answered it together with other questions, just to give everyone a little bit of recap of what has been happening recently. The onboard of Dr. Chen as the most recent one, and we announced the rebranding last week.
And there is one more question about the price. Yeah, let me take this.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So Andy, thank you very much for your question. I saw your question about the price. So to be honest, I think this is more like industry issues, as we can see from the consensus. Even though we have like 10,000 people participating into such a big events, but the price is actually dropping during the consensus. We have a little bit high about 9,000 something, but never touched upon 10,000s. I mean, for quite a long time actually. Even for the bitcoins, which takes to 33% of the trading volume in this industry. As you can see, I mean, our biggest pair on Binance is which brings most of the trading volume is bitcoins to QLC. So one of the clarity is once the Bitcoin is down, we have to take the fall as well. We are actually looking to boost our token price from the different angles, but I can't really talk too much right now. So I think if you are truly care about the QLC, do test out our app and give us more constructive advice and help us grow. And we want to be a team who is on the ground for the long term. So which means we want to make sure our technology is developed and our team is survived of this wave of the hype, especially after this wave of the compliance pressure. So we sometimes we have to be kind of like stay low. To preserve the cash position and to really focus on product developments. And sometimes we have to be kind of like jumping around, talk about ourselves and getting advisors and very strong on the marketing. So it all depends on the cycle. I think probably. We always want to bring more new and exciting stuff here, but one thing I have to say is we're gonna always be here, and we are always gonna be open to have your suggestions. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Susan. So let's see if we have more questions coming up. Susan, you pick the question that you want to answer, and at the meantime, I'm gonna give everyone some updates about our social media platforms. We actually have a Steemit account which will come really soon. We're gonna because we are now focusing more on the technical parts and we want to encourage more discussions. We have our Steemit account, we have our Bitcoin Talk account, which...
Oh, I saw Andy. Andy is in Macau.
Oh.
We're in Hong Kong. We're actually in the cyberport right now.
Yeah, it's a remote area and it's almost 12. Yeah. Macau is not far. We can definitely go there. Where were I? Steemit, Steemit account and Bitcoin Talk, and we want to invite everyone who are interested in our public chain technology after the yellow paper has been published to our Discord account. That's another step that we're gonna move to.
We're gonna discuss on the GitHub.
Oh, right. And then, most importantly, GitHub.
Our website.
Yes. Yes. So we're gonna the yellow paper will first be published on GitHub, right?
Yes.
Yes, that's the plan. So we're also gonna open for comments and corrections, contributions from the developers community. That's our battlefields after the public chain been published.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. Next big announcement will be the public chain, and I'm very confident and I'm very exciting as well. So yeah, stay with us, and we'll bring you more updates.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yeah. So by the way, shall we reward those people who are watching our channel at this hour?
Yeah, it's really late. Me and Susan are having hanging here. So No, let's just name them and ask them to message us
Yeah. Okay. So
contact us.
yeah. So we will put something up about how. So thank you very much for the people that's watching our channels and leave the comments and questions for this AMA. So and I'm very excited, and we will announce how can we reward our community. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. This is the last surprise that we're getting. So people who are leaving their comments, asking questions, we will give your surprises. I don't know how, but Susan has some idea. And also, please remember to check our website and recommend your friends if they are in the perfect position. We will reward whoever recommend to. With that iPhone X. Yes? Yes. So that's the two surprises tonight. Thank you for staying with us.
We should give out the Huawei P20, right?
That's awesome.
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Yeah. So, hey, everyone, Huawei P20 is awesome. I'm not taking money from Huawei, but yeah, because we are using Android phones a lot to test our WinQs, so we got addicted to it somehow. And the cameras, it's really good. Makes the girls look better in front of the cameras. Yeah. I think this is time for us to say good night. It's almost 12. Everyone have a good afternoon, and we are going to have a good night tonight. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you.